Hey, Chrome Bros, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here and hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be talking today about explosives in Enlisted. This is something that has unfortunately been a problem for quite a while, manifesting in kind of several different, very poorly executed parts of Enlisted. So this is going to be one of those critique videos. I really just hate making videos like this. I'd much rather just do like tutorial and gameplay stuff, but like I can't just sit and not talk about stuff like this for a game that I really do care about, and a game, you know, that I play a lot and see a lot, and you know, my game design brain cannot just sit aside and not do this. So let's jump into the topic. Let's start off number one with something that I don't think I've necessarily talked about in a YouTube video before, and that is why I think Enlisted actually works. What makes Enlisted good? What draws people to it? And there are a lot of things here, but I think the number one reason why people like Enlisted, and this is kind of a subconscious thing, I don't even think people necessarily realize why, or don't even notice that they enjoy the game because of this, and it has to do with the pacing. Okay, the pacing of Enlisted is probably some of the best pacing in any game I've ever played, and that has to do completely with the squad system. It is absolutely 100% because of the squad system in Enlisted. The squad system in Enlisted just keeps the action of the game going all the time. You are constantly in the fight in Enlisted, as compared to something like Hell Let Loose or even Call of Duty, where, you know, even an action-packed game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, it's still going to take you a good 30 seconds to get back into the fight, if not maybe even a little bit longer. While Enlisted, if you die, you just press your next soldier button, and you're in the fight immediately. Like in this clip here, I've been fighting for upwards of 2 minutes, right? And I've died 8 times, right? That is a huge thing that separates Enlisted. And so what makes Enlisted really, really good is you're just constantly in the action. You're constantly fighting. You're constantly, you know, interacting with other players and fighting other players and playing the game. And you're not just sitting at a loading screen or a death screen or a squad screen and stuff like that. And when you do, it's not that long before you go on to the next squad, right? You get back into the action very quickly. And so I wanted to point that out because I think that that's something that not a lot of people necessarily realize. But it is absolutely, in my opinion, the reason why Enlisted does well. All the other stuff, all the gunplay, the squads, the historical stuff, I think all of that is kind of secondary to the squad system. I think the squad system is what makes Enlisted unique. It's what separates it from other just games like it, you know, other first-person shooter games. So let's go on to the main topic of this video and why I think the current stuff that we have and some of the past issues, namely explosives, and I'm going to talk about some other stuff too, but namely explosives, they break what I was just talking about. They break that kind of magic that the squads give, because one of the best things that can happen in Enlisted is you shoot a guy, he switches to a member, he shoots you, you switch to a squad member, you shoot him, and you have this really awesome back and forth, where you're both kind of outmaneuvering one another, right? That's really interesting. That's really fun. Explosives don't have that. When you have grenade launchers that are as powerful as the current grenade launchers are, when you have explosive packs and you can carry 3 of them and throw them like 40 yards over a mountain, it makes it to where you really just don't have that interesting gameplay anymore, because you throw an explosive pack and you've cooked it for a couple seconds and then it just lands above a squad and detonates everybody. Those of you that have ran into players like this that really know how to use explosive packs and really know these maps and know how to kill people with these explosive packs know just how ridiculously unfun it is to play against, because you just die. You die and there's no warning. There's no way to play around it, and you're just sent back to a respawn screen, and it really feels bad. It really sucks. It's not interesting gameplay. It's not fun gameplay. And now with the buffs to the rifles, the grenade launchers, it is absolutely ridiculous. I would say most of the high-level players out there, right, the people who are just playing in the quote-unquote best way possible, are just running around with 2 grenade launchers and maxed explosive packs, right? So you have like upwards of 87 grenades in one squad, one 9-man squad, and I mean, the games just devolve into complete and utter ridiculous, bullshit, to be completely honest with you guys. It is not fun. I think the devs really need to do something about this. And I think this is a problem that has plagued Enlisted for a long time. It's just come up in different ways. The artillery spam meta. Those of you that played back in, what was that? It must have been like June, I believe, sometime around then. Maybe even earlier. I honestly don't remember at this point, but it was a while ago. It was upwards of 9 or so months ago. And those times where you could just spam artillery, and artillery was even more powerful than it is now, and it had no cooldown, and multiple people could call in at the same time, and so you're just kind of getting blown up all the time, and that wasn't fun. And then we had of course the plane meta, where planes were constantly dropping bombs that would just nuke an entire team from ridiculous distances, right? All of these things kind of just play into that explosives kind of being ridiculous thing, right? And if you don't need to shoot people, then kind of, I think the magic of what it makes Enlisted kind of goes away. I think that, we've gone over explosives, and I think I've made my case there. I would like to say that I think there are other things in Enlisted that also cause a similar problem, albeit they are guns, and so they are not nearly as much of a problem. But these are guns like the PPSH, guns like the MP43, guns like the MKB, the FG42 to a lesser extent. All of these weapons that can basically are either so accurate or have such high mag sizes and stuff that they just wipe squads. I think that leads to frustration as well. I don't know if this is necessarily something that needs to be changed. I would just like to point it out that I do think that is a frustrating thing in the game. But at the same time, something like the PPSH, well, like, you got to be really close to use it. And yes, it has a 71 drum mag, but I don't know. It's one of the kind of more question marks. I just wanted to point it out. What do you guys think? Do you guys think weapons like the PPSH are too powerful, right? Do you think they wipe squads too easily? And if so, do you think they need to be nerfed in some way, right? Or maybe you just think they do wipe squads too easily, but that's kind of the weapon. I mean, it is, right? That's kind of the point of the PPSH or the MP43, weapons like that. And I don't want to get into other topics here. I don't want to get into kind of ways to balance this, because I think that there are a million ways to balance it. And I really just don't want to spend a bunch of time talking about this stuff. I would rather just point it out and hopefully get a conversation going, or at least add fuel to that conversation. So hopefully the devs are able to see that and rectify it as quickly as possible. So that was kind of the whole idea of this video. I want to get that conversation going. So let me know, guys. Do you guys think explosives are too much? How do you guys feel about the current quote unquote meta of Enlisted? Do you guys think that there's just too many explosives? Do you think explosives are fine? Do you guys run into this problem? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts down below. And also let me know about PPSHs. Do you think the PPSH is too strong? Do you think the MP43 wipe squads too easily? All of these kinds of things that I've kind of been talking about. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, because it's always good to have big discussions about that. So let me know in the comments below, guys. Without anything else, as always, like and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.